Hey there everyone, what is happening? So I wanted to make this video because it's definitely a reoccurring question that I get a lot on my videos and I've seen all over the place. And it is an Axe FX, where's it at? Axe FX worth the money? So it's kind of one of those things that a piece of gear is worth whatever you're willing to pay for it. So the big argument always against the Axe FX is that they are, kind of expensive. And you have to kind of weigh your options. What are you using it for? For me, this is perfect. I've never been a big amp guy, so my opinion might be a little bit biased because I've been into modelers and software for quite a while now. I've had real amps. I've had, Randall, like the V2s, 6505s, all that stuff, and they're all great. I don't try to knock anybody having those, but here's my big argument for the Axe FX. One is the amount of tones that are an option for you. So an Axe FX is more of an upfront investment. Sure, you can go buy a used 5150 head and for $500 or however much it is. I don't know how much they run for. I'm just giving a number, and you can totally get away with that, and it's going to sound great. And you know what? The 5150 in here is going to sound great, but so we'll just say that's $500. So that's $500, and you get a 5150. And as most people know, their cleans. I never really liked the 5150 clean. Distortion, they're awesome. So you have one sound now for $500. Okay. Now let's say you want a boogie of some kind, and then so you go buy a boogie. Maybe you can get one for $1,400, $1,300, $1,200, $1,100. We know whatever it is. We'll just say, we'll say an even grand. So you're at $1,500. So now you've got a boogie and a 5150. Now we haven't figured in the price of a cab yet, because you got to have a cab. So we'll just say a somewhat decent used cab is $400. Again, I don't know these prices. I'm just giving out numbers. This is just an estimate idea. So right now we're at almost $2,000, and you have two amps, arguably two types of tones. Of course you have their cleans, they're different channels, and you can get different tones with each one of them. But for argument's sake, we're just going to say two amps, two tones. Don't hate that. I'm sure there's going to be people, you can get 1,000,000 tones out of this amp. Well, maybe you can, but okay. So you're in almost $2,000 now, and you have two amps, your cab, and you need something for cleans. So you get a Fender, I don't know, a Verb or something like that, for whatever the price is. So now you've pretty much matched how much the Axe FX costs in just getting those 3 amps in your cab, and the Axe FX is still toe-to-toe with that. So, and again, I can't stress enough that I'm not against amps in any kind of way. To me, this is just incredibly convenient and makes sense to me. So now that we're basically in the same price area, you have those amps and everything, and the Axe FX. Okay, well, the Axe FX also has multiple Fender amps, multiple different versions of each one. Your boogies. It has a Friedman. Like I said, your Fenders, your Marshalls, all that stuff, as well as like classic kind of amps involved in there too, in classic tones. But not to mention the fact that you can have all the different effects, and to me, there's so many effects that I've never had before on here, so that I wouldn't think of to create, that have been really inspiring. So I'm more of a person who likes to plug in and just get a nice tone and start creating. I want that gap between I have an idea to I'm creating the idea as small as possible. And the Axe FX does that. Now you can noodle around with it as much as you want. You could spend days trying to sculpt a tone that you like, the perfect tone. Or you could do what I do, is just plug in, you can find a preset that you like, and get your general idea down. And not to mention, recording is incredibly easy. It just plugs in USB. So this is also my interface now. There's no miking involved. Again, to me, that's another step that could potentially hinder the creative process of creating music. So to me, there's just so many advantages to this. You can do DIs. just all kinds of stuff. Now, obviously, there's just a big of an argument, I'm sure, on amp side. But again, this is coming from a person who likes modelers, who likes software. So those are just some of my arguments, because I get tired of other people who kind of hate on the Axe effects. It's not as good as the real thing. Well, you know what? To be honest, most of us have never even played the real thing. To where, like, I've never played a bunch of vintage Marshalls to where I could be like, oh no, that thing's nothing like it. Now, and there's no way you can tell me that you can't dive into this amp and mess with it and tweak the stuff to where it can sound 99.9%. To me, it sounds 100%. But for argument's sake, 99.9%, that's more than enough for the creativeness that this thing offers. So, to me, it's a perfect tool. I think it's more than worth the money. Now, I don't own the pedal board and all that stuff, but I just think if you sit down and look at it, yes, it's more of an upfront investment, but it's also more of a long-term investment as well. So that's just my kind of outlook on it. So let me know what you guys think. Do you like modelers, or are you kind of the real deal? You want the amps and all that stuff? Either one, I think they're both great. So I will see you guys later. Peace out, homies. I'll see you on the flip-flop later. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye, guys.